Alright, so let's talk about the business. Today is June 2nd, or June 3rd. It is Monday, so I can always figure out what day it exactly is because it's a Monday and it's one of the first Junes of the month. One of the first days of June, I mean. So what happened? What's been going on? Well, first of all, I'm so close to completing the watch, right? The design is almost finalized. I got some parts delivered on Sunday, so yesterday, from Esslinger. And when I tried to fit everything into the watch, and everything was fitting pretty good, except for the dial of the watch, the dial that I created. And when I measured it, I designed the dial with a height of 0.25 millimeters, so 25 microns, I think it's called. I'm not sure, but 0.25. No, not 0.20, 0.025, I believe. So a quarter of a tenth of a millimeter, I think, right? And what happened was that when I measured it was actually, instead of 0.025, it was at 0.05. So it doubled in thickness when it was printed. I don't know why that happened because I made sure to adjust the height on the printer itself. But for some reason it gave it double the thickness. And so what's going on is that the movement is not able to go through that depth of the dial. And so I can only attach basically the seconds hand, but I can't attach the hours hand because of the depth. Or the minutes, not the... I don't know. I just can't attach both hands, and it's getting kind of messy. So I'm going to have to basically order a new movement. I did a little bit of research trying to find something else. I really like the Ronda for some reason, which is a movement that I was using, the Ronda 3 763. I really enjoyed the idea of using that movement just because it was so nice and clean, and it was very small. But I'm probably gonna have to go with a Miyota or a Hattori, I think it's called. I'm not too familiar with either of those, but I think I don't know if it's Miyota or Miyota, but that brand I've heard of before. I know they put them in Citizens, I think, so that's cool. So I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna try, but basically I need to get one that's deeper. Now I'm trying to get a movement that first of all, one that's not crap, because there was a Chinese one there that said, literally had no brand, it just said Chinese quartz movement. It's like, I want to stay away from that stuff. I want to get something reputable, even if it's a little bit more expensive. So I'm looking into those brands that I mentioned, and basically I want to get a movement that's the same depth as the one that I have, except that the hour and the minute hands pop out a little further, just so that I can fit that in there. And the idea is that I want to be able to do this without having to change too much, right? Because that'll be a big pain. But if I have to, you know what, it is what it is if I want to get this thing working. So that's something that's like one of those obstacles that's in the way right now, that I'm like, you know, like not looking forward to have to redo a little bit of the interior work, because I thought I had finalized that already. But yeah, it is what it is. So that's something that I'm gonna have to do. The second thing that I need to do is, I'm trying to think here. So I got the box yesterday. I went to Michael's and I was able to get some boxes, the shadow boxes that I was thinking of using. There was a sale going on, and there was a shadow box that was I looked at it, it said $20, but it was a 4-pack, and it was 5 by 7 inch. I was like, oh, I can use this. It's pretty cool. And then when I went to purchase it, they told me that it was buy one, get one free. So I actually got 8 of those frames for $26. So that was awesome, man. I was really good, the fact that I got that. Also, so I kind of set that together, and yesterday, like at 11:30 at night, I was able to make a little backing for it. You know, I put an exploded axle diagram, and it was looking awesome. It really was looking great. And I think that's it. The reason I'm so like worried is because I'm looking at my car's temperature right now, and it's at 210 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's not normal at all. I've been having some issues with this car where like the AC is not working properly, but it's because of the engine cooling fan. It's not working right, and so the engine temperature keeps rising. Yesterday it went all the way up to 235, which was, was really worrisome, but I didn't have a chance to stop. And now it's at 210, which is crazy. This thing, it never passes 200. So once it passes 210, I'm already like freaking out. The air's working great, just because I figured out that if I put it on on low, it doesn't do that problem where the engine cooling fan shuts off. So that's why I'm like not really paying attention, because I'm kind of worried about that. I gotta take it to the dealership and all that. But anyways, what I was gonna say was just to finish this, right? I got those shadow boxes. I put the little backing in it, and it looks great. It looks really amazing. I'm really happy with how it's coming out. So I just gotta buy I just gotta buy all the parts again, based on that new movement, start measuring everything out, redesign the interior of it, fitting everything with the dial. But I gotta continue to do a little research. So today's Monday, I want to have all that ordered before tomorrow, so that tomorrow, so that I get everything by Thursday or Friday, and then over the weekend I can just finalize that and have it printed. And then one last thing, just before I go, one of the biggest issues that I've been having beside that is just the overall appearance. I've tried sanding, I've tried the rock tumbler. The rock tumbler is actually pretty good, but it leaves all these little pebbles inside, like crevices, and they're a pain to get out, and I end up scratching the surface sometimes. So I don't know if I'm going to end up doing the rock tumbler. I haven't completely removed that from my list of solutions, but I think I'm just gonna sand by hand. I tried doing sand by hand yesterday. It was really, really simple. I used like 1,000 grit sandpaper, 1,000, 1,500, and 2,000, and it ended up coming out very, very, very nice. And so I think I'm gonna do that, except it leaves like little film of like dust on it, and it's really difficult to get off. So I'm gonna try doing sanding it and then polishing it and see if that works. So I might have to get a little Dremel to buff it out, but I don't know. And finally, just the last thing that is like in my list of problems is that my printer, like yesterday I printed 2 watches, and on the face of them there was 2 little like dents. And I don't know where those dents came from, and my fear is that my LCD has 2 little cracks on it, like tiny like chips. And I think that happened because I was leveling my bed one time. It could either happen because I was leveling my bed and I accidentally pressed 10 millimeters down and crashed into that, or I think that I printed once with like particles of resin in there, and it like smushed it into the LCD. I don't know what caused that, but yeah, something caused it, and I don't know what. But I think that those 2 chips might be the reason for the watch. So I'm gonna try printing the watches again and shifting them around at different locations to see if they come out with those chips again. If they do, I'm probably gonna have to replace the screen, and that screen is like $60 apparently. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. I don't feel great right now. I mean, I'm excited for the watch, but like this whole thing with my car going on, and the whole thing with the LCD printer part, I don't feel great right now. I do not feel great, but woo, gotta get it done. So peace out, everyone.